The basis for a republic is the respect of the individual. It's not about collectivizing people into groups and pitting them against each other. And the other basis of a republic is the rule of law. And if we don't understand the word illegal, being an illegal immigrant, if we don't understand the word illegal when it comes to illegal enemy combatant, if we continue to take Somali pirates out of the Gulf of Aden and bring them over to New York City and read them their Miranda rights and lawyer them up for their day in court, this republic that we have called the United States of America will cease to exist. And there are young children that are here. There's a little young baby somewhere back there. We have to leave them something that's better than what was left to us by our parents and our grandparents. That's why I'm running for Congress. It's not for me. It's not for myself or self-special interest. It's to do the things that I've always been doing for my entire life, which is protecting you and defending our Constitution so that you can go out and have a great and prosperous life. So that we can sit around days from now with our children and grandchildren and tell them in the year 2010, when our backs were against the wall, when it seemed that all was lost, your granddad or your grandma, we took a stand. We got out on street corners. We let our voices be heard. Isn't it a shame that the governor of Massachusetts, Duval Patrick, just this week said, anybody that speaks out against the president and his policies, that's an act of sedition. They're telling you who they are. They're showing you who they are. They're fascist in nature. Because our First Amendment right says that you have freedom of speech and you have the freedom and the right to redress your grievances against the government. They want you to shut up. Thomas Friedman, this past week in the New York Times, said, why can't we be more like China? So that we can have a government that can just do whatever it wants. Woody Allen last week stood up and said, why can't the president be a dictator? He may be Woody Allen, but who would have ever thought that in the United States of America, anyone would have the courage, the gall, and the audacity to stand up and say that we should be ruled by a dictator? 234, 235 years ago, we told the world how we felt about dictators. Ask George III. But if we're not careful now, it will return. Nationalization of our production. Healthcare has been taken over. The finance industry has been taken over. The education system is being taken over. Never forget that one of the amendments to the healthcare law was that all college loans now have to go to the federal government. No more private loans for college education. If cap and trade goes through, that's the energy sector. They've already taken over General Motors. What are you going to do for the next 5 months? That's the challenge that I have to you. And it comes back to what I said at the beginning. You're not sheep. You're lions. You need to let your roar be heard. And you need to go out and choose those people who can stand before you and go to Washington, D.C. and be lions as well. I'm not looking to be a shepherd. I'm looking to lead Americans. I'm looking to lead people that understand that indomitable American spirit. I'm looking people that understand that this is a great city. It's a sit upon a hill. It's a shine for all the world to see. That is what has to happen on the 2nd of November, 2010. Because if we don't effect a true and proper change in the United States of America, which means going back to our foundational principles, Nancy Pelosi still has the gavel in her hand come next January of 2011. It does not matter who you run for president in 2012. Read the Constitution and understand that the power in our federal government system sits in the House of Representatives. That's why the Founding Fathers in their brilliance said every 2 years you get the opportunity to fix it. Plato once said, one of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you will be governed by your inferiors. You can't sit on the sidelines on this one, ladies and gentlemen. You've got to get out. Young, old, black, white, I don't care. You've got to get out. If you believe in this country, if you believe what our founding fathers left for us, this is a fight for our lives. The wolves are out there. But I believe, in the bottom of my heart, that each and every one of you will do as my good friend right there does. You will grab that musket. You'll fix your bandana. And just the same as those Minutemen answered the call in Lexington and Concord, you're going to answer that call. You got 5 months. They don't believe that you're going to fight. But you've got to. They're absolutely scared of who I am and what I stand for. Ron Klein has already started his silly little attacks. It does not bother me. You know, when you've been in the military, you've almost been blown up, shot at, and things like that. You don't really care about people out there. Last month, poll came out, we were ahead of him, 44 to 42%. The past 6 months, we have beat him 2 to 1 on fundraising. But understand this, an inner city young man from Atlanta, Georgia, and what I stand for, what I represent, invalidates everything on their side. All of their liberal social welfare policies. They cannot have someone like myself have a voice. That's why they're going to be here. The ACORN will be here. The SEIU will be here. Maybe even the new Black Panther Party will show up and be here to try to intimidate you, to try to get you to stay away. You got to come out. And as Clint Eastwood said in The Outlaw Josie Wales, you got to get dog fighting mad. We go forth together in the next 5 months. And not just the rest of this country, but the world is watching what's going on in Congressional District 22. I got a video where one of my speeches about legal immigration was translated into German. I've got an article from the largest newspaper in Denmark that did a feature on who I am. But people across the world are looking for just one thing: principled leadership. And I don't care where I go, I'm your guy in Congressional District 22, right here in South Florida. Not just Florida, not just America, we're going to show the world that it's about character. It's not about color. It's not about American Idol. It's about understanding what the United States of America is about. It's understanding what American is and restoring this great republic to the greatness that it is yet to realize. Because I believe, starting the 2nd of November 2010, the greatest days this country are ahead of us. Don't do that.